Okay, hear me out. I know we're all excited for the Switch 2. I'm excited as well. I'm even getting to play it this Friday at the Switch 2 experience. But it's not a perfect console, and there are some things you should know before you drop that $450 or $500. Let's just talk real quick about some of these negatives about the Switch 2. So first thing is the price. It's $449 for just a console, or if you want Mario Kart, you can get the $499 bundle. But let's be honest, because Mario Kart is an $80 game digital and $90 physical, that Mario Kart bundle is just gonna fly off the shelf and it's gonna be super hard to get. So if you really want that Mario Kart bundle, you're gonna have to be on top of that. Hopefully it's not as bad as it was in 2020 when the PS5 and the Xboxes came out, where it was like almost impossible to get them. Another thing to keep in mind is when the Switch 1 launched, that thing was hard to get as well because there just wasn't enough of it. And we don't really know how well this one will do, but just keep that in mind that pre-ordering could be a bit troublesome. The other thing I want to let you know is they did mention in the Direct that the screen is 1080p, 120 Hz, variable refresh rate, but it's an LCD. So if you've been playing on an OLED screen, you will notice the downgrade from OLED to LCD. But thankfully, at least it's a higher definition and has higher frames, so it's an upgrade and a downgrade in some aspects. As I mentioned earlier, pre-orders will be on April 9th. You can sign up on the Nintendo website to get alerted or get a special invitation to pre-order it. But if you don't want to go that route, you can also sign up for notifications at Best Buy's website and also at GameStop. Do keep in mind, even though GameStop has a bit of a trade-in deal currently for Nintendo Switch, the first gen models, do keep in mind that some of your games aren't backed up to the cloud. So if you trade in your console now, you'll lose all your Pokemon, you'll lose some of your Animal Crossing saves. If you want to check, you can go into the Nintendo Switch online settings and you'll see what games are backed up in the cloud and which ones are not. As I mentioned earlier, games will be more expensive. Mario Kart is $90 physical. I believe Donkey Kong is $70, and I believe that is a digital price. So we're looking at $70 to $90 for full price games on the Switch 2. It's going to be an expensive system, and I don't even want to know how much GTA 6 will cost if it comes to the Switch 2. There seems to be a physical Switch 2 tax. Another thing I want to mention is some physical games will have a disclaimer in the box stating that the card is just a key to be able to download and play the game. The Switch 1 did this as well, but now it's an official feature. So do keep in mind, if you're a physical game purchaser, to look at the game case to see if it's a full game download or if the full game is on the cartridge. And yes, you do need to insert the cartridge to play the game even after you download the game. Another thing I want to let you know is some games have some compatibility issues with the Switch 2. Nintendo posted an official list of games that have some issues launching, some issues during gameplay, and some games that just flat out don't work. If I remember, I'll put the link in the description so you can see the list of games. I think Doom is in one of those lists, so keep that in mind. But I'm sure most of those games will be updated to work on a Switch 2. Another important thing about the Switch 2 is the micro SD card. So if you're planning on using the same micro SD card that you had on your Switch, on the Switch 2, it will only work for Switch 1 games. If you want to play Switch 2 games and maybe Switch 2 enhanced games, you need an express micro SD card in order to play those games off the SD card. And those are more expensive than regular SD cards. I saw Wario 64 post one up for $44 for 128 gigabytes. I also saw that Cyberpunk, it will be in the cartridge, and it's in a 64 gigabyte cartridge. So Switch 2 games may be bigger games than they are in a Switch 1 that's been known to have smaller games. Speaking of Switch 2 and Switch 2 enhanced games, so Nintendo showed off some of the enhanced games for the Switch 2. Notably, they showed Mario Party Jamboree, they showed Kirby, and the 2 Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Now, important to note that these 4 games will have paid upgrades. So if you want to play the enhanced version of these games, you need to pay money for the upgrade pack, or you need to subscribe to the Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack in order to access these upgrade packs. Now, I know I said this is mostly negative stuff, but there are some games that will get free upgrades, like Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. They will get free updates, and also saw one of the 2D Link games is getting a free upgrade as well. The last thing I want to mention is one of the newest features on the Switch, which is the C button, which serves as a chat button. One thing you got to keep in mind is when the Switch 2 launches in June 5th, the features of the C button, which is the chat functionality, will be free up until March 31st of 2026. After that date, you're going to need a Nintendo Switch Online membership in order to use those functionalities. So essentially, if you don't pay for a Nintendo Switch Online after March 31st, that button probably won't do much. It will just be an extra button that doesn't do much. We still gotta wait and see if it does anything without the subscription, but as I understand it right now, it's a button that requires a subscription. Those are pretty much all the things that I saw that people should know, that maybe this information isn't flowing around a lot. Even so, I'm still excited to play it this Friday. We'll post a video on my hands-on impressions of the Switch 2, how it feels. I'll try to get pictures of it side by side with the original Switch and a Steam Deck, just so that you can see how the size compares. But what games are you looking forward to play on the Switch 2? Honestly, for me personally, I'm looking forward to playing Metroid Prime 4 and Metroid Prime Remaster, which I hope gets an upgrade, and Silksong, because I played the crap out of Hollow Knight on my Switch, and I feel like it's almost necessary for me to play Silksong on the Switch too. But yeah, that's all I really want to talk about. I want to make this video short so that you can just consume it and be about your way. This is John, and I'll see you next time.